Everyone in Eastwood City knew it. Julian Blackwood, the most influential CEO, had loved me for 8 years and proposed 99 times. I was deeply moved, willing to abandon my adventurous exploration career and return from Iceland to the warm, comfortable city. But 3 years into our marriage, Julian brought home a woman with a visibly pregnant belly. That's when I realized, all that time, he wasn't just preparing his proposals, he'd found a stand-in to ease his loneliness. Anya, I know you still dream of exploring, and you don't want to have children. I'll give you your freedom. Let's keep this baby. Once he's born, you'll be his mother. I looked at him quietly, my eyes red, a bitter laugh escaping me. Is this really about my freedom, Julian? Or is it that the Blackwood family can't be without an heir? Or is it that you, Julian Blackwood, have been cheating on me again and again? All these years you claimed to love me the most. I stared at the woman beside him, her face agonizingly familiar, and my stomach churned. Julian, is this what you call loving me? The man, now kneeling, stiffened. Julian looked up, his eyes filled with a tortured sort of affection. Anya, I messed up. You kept rejecting me back then, and I felt frustrated and lost. It was like I lost my mind. We'd already cleared things up after we got married. This accidental pregnancy was because I was completely wasted and ran into Chloe. She looks just like you. Anya, I pulled at the corners of my mouth, my face blank. So, you just went with the flow for 8 months, waited until her belly was too big to abort, and then told me, expecting me to just accept it. Julian hesitated, but Chloe, standing nearby, burst into tears first. Anya, please don't blame Julian. I secretly kept the baby. He didn't know. I'll accept any punishment, any blame. I beg your forgiveness. She began to kneel, but she was stopped. Julian's face darkened, and he snapped at her. Your belly is so big, and you're still so careless. Are you trying to deliberately hurt the baby? Just so outsiders will think Anya is bullying you and being cruel. Go stand over there. He turned to me, his voice gentle. Anya, I know you're kind and wouldn't want to trouble a pregnant woman, so I'll discipline her for you. I just found it utterly ridiculous. Did he really think I couldn't see this was just him protecting Chloe? I watched, horrified, as an anxious, worried look, one Julian himself didn't even seem to notice, replaced the pure, overflowing love that once filled his eyes. My heart felt as if it had been brutally pressed into scorching whiskey, choking me, suffocating me. I closed my eyes, fighting to steady the tremor in my voice. What if I said I don't accept this child? Julian's brows furrowed, his normally calm and composed face was contorted with anguish and indecision. Anya, you know how much I love you. No matter what happens, your place in my heart will never change. I can promise you. As soon as the baby is born, I'll send Chloe abroad. You'll never see her again, and the child will only recognize you as his mother. Julian said a lot, but he never once mentioned getting rid of the baby or sending it away. Yes, I knew Julian loved me, but if I forgave this child would become a constant thorn in my heart, a constant anxiety, periodically piercing my flesh, making me relive the pain of betrayal. Unexpectedly, my gaze hardened. Just as I was about to speak, Chloe suddenly cried out, "Ah, my stomach hurts so much. Julian, what do I do? Am I going into labor?" Julian's face changed. He stood up without hesitation, scooping Chloe into his arms. Anya, I need to take her to the hospital. I'll come back and explain everything. But I clearly saw the mocking curl on Chloe's lips. Her face showed not a trace of pain. I bit my lower lip. Julian, don't go. He paused. If you leave now, then don't ever. I'm sorry, Anya. I'll take her to the hospital and be right back home. Immediately. 10 minutes. The door slammed shut with a heavy thud, thrown by the man's hurried steps. The door closed, leaving the room utterly empty. My body slowly slid to the floor. Suddenly, I received a text message. It was a photo of hands clasped over a pregnant belly, with a message attached, a happy family, all together. So who's the third wheel now? My breath caught in my throat. The tears I'd fought back finally broke free, gushing uncontrollably. I clutched my phone, knuckles white, but before I could even process it, another call came in. It was Julian's mom, Vivian. Anya, I heard about the baby. You're angry, but you also need to think. You and Julian have been married for 3 years without a child. If you can't have one, are you going to stop someone else from having one? Don't get me wrong, but when this baby is born, won't you be the one who benefits? A free baby without the pain of childbirth. What's better than that? Vivian Blackwood had always had something against me. She used every chance to lecture me. I suddenly calmed down. You think this is a good thing? You're so open-minded about it. Maybe Julian was also brought home by his father from someone else. Sure enough, the person on the other end erupted into a furious tirade. The moment my son was enchanted by you, I knew you'd be the biggest mistake of his life. I hung up the phone. Vivian's last words echoed in my ears long after. I was Julian's mistake, but wasn't he mine too? After Julian fell for me at first sight in college, he launched an intense pursuit. Even when I rejected him again and again, he never gave up. After graduating, I joined a world exploration team and flew to the Arctic. He followed closely, relentlessly declaring his love. His 99 meticulously planned proposal videos are still famous all over the internet. Even my heart, often so guarded, was finally moved by his daily persistence. For what I believed was true love, I put aside my dreams, but for someone accustomed to the freedom of wandering, trying to adapt to a stable life was incredibly difficult. I constantly suppressed the suffocating feeling of being trapped. Now that pure, sincere love that first moved me was gone, silence surrounded me. One thought became clearer and clearer in my mind. I never waited for Julian to come home. All I got was a complaining call. Anya, mom said you cussed her out. Please understand, she just wants to hold a grandchild. Suddenly, I heard a woman's soft, whiny voice from the other end. Julian's voice cut off abruptly. Listening to the fumbling on the other end as he muffled the phone, I let out a breath and said softly, Julian, let's get a divorce. As expected, he disagreed and started begging again, but I'd heard too many meaningless apologies. I hung up the phone, sharp and decisive, and quickly packed my bags. Besides essential necessities, everything else could be left behind and bought again. Perhaps my past exploration experiences had influenced my mindset. Leaving on a whim required quick decision-making, and failed love was no different. I knew Julian was still at the hospital. The closest hospital to here would take at least half an hour. He couldn't make it in time, but I underestimated Julian's madness when I saw that steady, understated Cadillac chasing my car, its tires practically smoking. My heart leaped. Julian's car clearly showed signs of collision, but he was still speeding up like a maniac. Afraid of an accident, I reluctantly pulled over. Julian, what do you want? Looking at the man whose eyes were filled with hidden fury, the emotions I'd suppressed burst out like a tsunami. You're the one who claimed to love me yet found a stand-in to sleep with. You're the one who cheated again after we married. Your body and soul tainted. Disgusting. Julian, I'm letting you have your perfect little family. Why won't you let me go? The love I thought was worth giving up my freedom for turned out to be nothing but a bubble from the very beginning. The laughable part was, I had silently endured it for 3 years. By the end, every word was raw with pain. Julian's eyes were also red and he collapsed to his knees. Anya, I didn't betray you. This child was truly an accident. Later I thought I didn't want you to get hurt having a baby. I brushed away his hand gripping my sleeve and gave a cold, dismissive pull at my lips. Stop with the pretty words, Julian. I don't tolerate disloyalty in love, and besides, we're not a good fit. Perfect. The baby's born. You and your family can live happily ever after. As for us, this is the end. With that, I turned and walked toward my car. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through the back of my neck. The last thing I saw before darkness claimed me was Julian's crazed expression. When I woke up again, I was back in my bedroom. Anya, you're not leaving me. Looking at Julian, who appeared haggard, the word captivity surfaced in my mind. I turned my head away, refusing to look at him. Julian didn't seem to care. Anya, Blackwood Corp's PR department has already released the news that you're pregnant. Now everyone in Eastwood City knows you're about to. I was so angry I laughed. How do I not know I'm pregnant? Julian took a deep breath, looking exhausted. Stop messing around, Anya. This child, of course, can only be yours. Chloe is about to give birth. Just behave yourself for a while. Once the baby is born, I'll settle Chloe, and then I cut him off coldly. Get out. Julian tried to say more, but his phone rang. Julian, I'm so uncomfortable. The doctor said the mother needs the baby's father present. Otherwise my mood will worsen and affect labor. Chloe's delicate, pleading voice wafted from the phone. Julian's eyes filled with worry. He looked at me, hesitating. Seeing my silence, he suddenly got angry. Anya, you don't want to see me, but someone else desperately wants me to stay. If you don't say anything, I'm really leaving. The frustration in his eyes mounted. Julian, in a fit of pique, threw out a fine, don't regret it, and stormed out the door. Even though I was utterly disappointed, watching Julian leave still made my heart ache. I slumped onto the bed, trying to calm myself. After a long while I dialed a number. My darling, why are you calling today? We even heard about Mrs. Blackwood's pregnancy all the way.